That was a little extra boop at the end there for episode 62. Yeah.
You get a
hello.
match?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Welcome to Vice of Life. I'm Logan, along with Josh
Hi.
and Eloy.
Howdy.
Wow, he sounds so engaged.
Yes.
Every week,
Coronavirus.
coronavirus. Every week we sit down, we talk about a varying topic, tangentially or directly relating to life. That's the new, new little intro bit here that we got going.
Ooh, saucy.
Totally.
Like it.
Eloy sounds so uninterested.
I think we're all just, we don't know what's going on in the world anymore.
I'm running on fumes, okay, right now? I'm going to do my best for you guys.
We're good.
No, we appreciate it. All right, well, let's get into it. Eloy, why are you running on fumes? What's your weekly update? Show and tell. Tell us what you did.
I've been up since about 4 o'clock this morning.
Whoa.
And yeah, I was going to come home and take a nap. I tried to take a little nap right before we started recording this, but yeah, that didn't take. And then we just got those big, like, dumpsters in our neighborhood, so I helped my grandparents move a bunch of shit out into those.
Like
So
old
it's just been
old furniture, or like, what do you mean?
like old furniture, yeah, mostly.
Wood scraps and shit.
Yeah, exactly that, actually. A lot of old busted coolers and everything, so.
Okay.
Is your dad's or your grandpa still doing a lot of that woodworking, like, stuff that I would always see on his walls?
Yeah, I think he's actually making something from How to Train Your Dragon for my cousin at the moment.
Never saw any of those movies, but I had to
Really
write
good.
I had to write trivia for them for the radio station one day.
Oh, boy.
It's terrible. I don't, didn't know what the fuck was going on, but I think it worked out. They didn't even use it. Anyways.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. But, so you've been up since 4. You didn't take a nap. Why didn't your nap take, man?
I'm not much of a nap guy. Even when I'm just beat to shit, I can't just lay down and pass out.
I can nap for fucking 12 hours, man. And then go back to bed. I've done it a couple times. Not 12 hours, but, we'll say 6, 5, get up, go right back to bed. It's a problem of mine. I don't know. I like to sleep.
I mean,
I don't know. I get those days every once in a while, but it's only after I put myself through hell for months on end.
Yeah.
you can't even do like the 20-minute naps, I feel like those are,
I don't know. I mean,
where you're not-
occasionally I can, but it never actually helps me. I always end up feeling just even more tired. So I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to try before this.
You ever try like a guided meditation type thing on YouTube?
I have not.
Try that out. Could help.
Try it out.
Then you don't have to fall asleep. You just, clear the mind, I guess, type thing.
Maybe.
Try it out. All right, very
Maybe.
good.
I'm easily sold on a lot lately. Suggest something to me, and I'll get on it.
I recommend it. I've done it a good amount of times. I don't. It's I've had days where I do like let go and like go somewhere else in my mind, or you kind of go like nowhere. It's kind of hard to explain. Like you don't have thoughts. Like you're just. It's like that feeling right before you fall asleep, but you like stay there. And then I've had days where I'm just rolling around and I can't, and then it's like, oh, okay, 20 minutes, cool. Like, still tired. So it depends. I've had some good success here and there, though.
I think it depends on like what you eat and stuff too. Like
that is true.
When I eat before I try to take a nap, it's always like, oh yeah, I can do this really easily. But,
yeah, exactly.
But then you don't sleep very well from what we hear. So, anyways.
I don't know. I made myself a big old smoothie, a lot of carbs, so we're gonna get rolling.
All right.
This is supposed to be, yeah. This is for
What
you,
is that?
Eli.
Oh, okay. I thought there was another earthquake
We're doing
or
it
some
live.
shit. Yeah, there you go.
This is 3 hours of Om chanting.
Nice. I've tried that too. It supposedly like vibrates the pineal gland in your brain and gets you into, your indigo chakra and all this bullshit. There's a lot to it, man.
I know those chakras are like interesting, man.
Yeah.
I know very little about them, but
They know so
seem
much.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know that you say indigo chakra, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds like something I've heard before. I don't know what it means, but
It's like the crown
the
chakra.
VA
It's like the
chakra.
third eye,
yeah, okay.
Then you have like, there's like the crown, and then there's something in your head, and there's the throat, chest, kind of like pelvic region, or no, solar plexus, stomach, and then like pelvic region, the root chakra. That's where the magic happens.
The dick root chakra.
Yeah. And they're all different colors, and they all spin stuff, I guess. Like, and they get more complex as you go. Like, one is like 6 points, and then 7 and 8, and I don't know. It's like, imagine a yellow ball of light in the middle of your stomach, rotating clockwise. Like,
Sounds like Dragon Ball Z from what I've heard.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it unleashes the power, man. Try it out.
Try it out. Well, is there something you want to talk about? I know we talked about a lot of your life before I didn't know if you wanted to get into it or not, Josh. But...
I'll put it this way: it's the coronavirus is causing me some financial strife. Hate to say it. I got my last check. I guess that kind of says it, but and I just instantly paid like rent, car insurance, blah blah blah. So it's a bit of a safety net for now. The future is a little untold, but I'll make it work. But one thing I was doing, there's a few things I could say, but the first one is this website called Design Crowd, where people post like freelance graphic design work, and people kind of like submit, and then they pick one, and then whoever wins gets paid type of thing. So I've been trying that again. We'll see. And then the other one, I've done Postmates and like Grubhub and shit. I've never done Uber just because my vehicle wasn't approved, but I tried out Instacart today. I applied last night, so it was a pretty quick process. Like, you can just pay with your phone, like the Google Pay. You just like tap it on the thing, and you're good. I'm waiting for the card to show up, but that was a lot more productive than Postmates, I would say. Like,
You're in Salt Lake, where the Richie Riches are,
Yeah, I thought about, like, man, maybe I should, like, go up to Park City or something and do that, but I kept going all I did today was Sprouts Market, like a health food store, and I only did 3. Well, I did 4. It was 3 trips, but one of them was for 2 different people. And I made like $45, which isn't bad considering the amount, but there's also that like waiting around time and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of like, it's good money like when you're actually doing it. Well, it's doable. It's not like good money, but it's better than Postmates and things, because you'll make like $4 a run on Postmates and shit. So this is more like 15 or so per run. So I'm trying to figure out if there's like peak times or like when is a good time to do it. But
And Instacart is like
wasn't
grocery
bad.
stores and stuff.
Yeah, you
Like
just
you buy groceries for people.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's on your phone. You just see what they want, and then you scan the barcode and check them all off, and go drop it off. So it's not bad. I liked it.
I'd never heard of this before.
I knew that groceries could be delivered, but I didn't. I thought it was always through the grocer itself.
Yeah.
I didn't.
That too, yeah.
But then Instacart, I think as is with the chakras, I think I've heard about it, but I didn't understand what it was.
Yeah, I was on all those websites last night, like ways to make money online, or like remote work.
OnlyFans.
And yeah, I wish I could do shit like that, man. I really do.
Who knows,
Or
man?
patreon.com/Vice of Life.
Yeah.
But
Check their terms of service. We'll see.
yeah. But that one came up. I downloaded like a few apps. There's one called Steady where it's like they connect you to all the, I don't know, it's just like a list of like Postmates, Grub, and I'm like, okay, I don't really need this. And then there's one called Handy that's for like cleaning houses, but I don't know how that one worked because I could only view like as a customer, so I didn't ever really get that one going. But I was digging around and I was like, I'll try it out. It wasn't bad. Well, probably do some more. You know?
I wonder if you're getting compensated more for the grocery, the hazard pay, they say. I don't know if there's something in the back end with that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to decide how it's possible that you get paid more for delivering groceries and not delivering people places. You know, like Uber or something.
they pay a little bit better, like per mile type thing. Like it's instead of 12 cents, it's 18 or some shit. And then the other thing too, I think, is it takes some more time. Like a lot of those apps will pay you for both of those things, like drive time and mileage, but not gas or anything. And it's not really enough to pay for gas for me because I don't get great gas mileage. But, and then I think the other thing too is that it's kind of like it's a percentage of the order, you know. So if you do fast food, it's like $20 order or whatever versus like I did one run for this lady that was like $120 or something that she paid for just the groceries. And then they take a percentage for them and for you, like for the company and for you, and then they tip as well. So it's not bad. It adds up. Like I'm gonna probably try it, depending on what happens with FedEx. I don't know. I started working for them, kind of, and I'm gonna show up tomorrow and kind of see the whole dealio. But I kind of want to try, even if it's after that on a different day. I want to try it like earlier in the morning, maybe, because it seems like it was really good. Like I didn't even turn it on till like 11 a.m. and then one came up right away. And then I was going for a few hours, and then it kind of died off. So it seems like people want to do it earlier in the day. So I'm going to play around with that. I don't know.
Did the people that you delivered to, were they, what were their age categories?
I would like millennial, I guess, like late 20s to late 30s. I had one that was like a stingy Mormon mom. She only tipped like $2. I was like, fuck you. But it wasn't a far drive, so fair enough. But I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say the average age was like 32, maybe. Like kind of, you know, like median or whatever. But something like that. I didn't do very many, though, so I am curious to see. A few, I mean, I only did 4 people, but I think like 2 of them seemed sick. Hopefully not with COVID, I really don't know, but you know, they looked pretty like baggy-eyed and just like, thank you, like. And then some are just bougie, lazy people. So I want to hit that market more. Sorry, I want to try like Park City or something, or like Heber maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting a lot of old people because you were talking about early in the morning. I was gonna say maybe it's like old people that are. You know, they have the seniors only shopping hours now for like 7 to 8 a.m. So I was trying to make a connection between those. Yeah, a lot of grocery stores are doing that.
That is true. They probably wouldn't let me in, huh? Even if they ordered. Maybe.
This is
for
a senior.
My customers 62.
I don't know. I'll have to play with that.
Yeah. It'd be really cool if the grocery stores stayed open later than 8 o'clock, though. I'm kind of over that whole thing.
I know.
It's like I'd rather go after work rather than before work, and it's like, but they're not open, and then I just end up not going because I'd rather sleep in than go to the grocery store. Then I'm out of food for the rest of the week, and then I'm like, fuck, and then it's a spiral of laziness.
I get it. I might be starting a job that's like mid-shift, like 3 p.m. to 11, so yeah, I'll probably be in that same boat, man. Yeah. Sorry, I'm drinking this bubbly Moscato. It rises up once in a while, you know.
Yeah. I ordered I ordered. Speaking of just not having groceries and just spiraling into laziness, I ordered Five Guys, and they do free delivery if you order through their website, but it has to be over $15, which it didn't come to, so I had to order Sprites to make it above $15. Even though if I didn't
Right?
do that,
Multiple?
just two of them. And if I just didn't buy the Sprites, it probably would have been about the same, or a little less. But I'm like, Sprites, man. I've been drinking a lot of soda lately. The sugar's kicking back in.
Nice.
And I realized yesterday last night as I went up to the pantry and I was looking for something sweet, I was like, wow, the sugar is really getting to me, man. Because I usually don't have these sugar cravings. But
you gotta have your thing. You gotta have something,
Yeah. That's my comfort during these times.
Yeah.
The sugar.
What's yours, Eloy? Like nutrition and shit?
My comfort?
Yeah. Heavy music?
Food, I should say.
Yeah, what's your I guess it's a vice really, but like what's the thing that's kind of keeping you going that's like your little treat,
I don't know. I'm really falling down a sugar rabbit hole too.
Yeah.
I've been eating a lot of golden Oreos lately.
Ooh, I do like those.
Not the birthday cake ones? I was
Nope,
confused.
golden Oreos, best Oreos. I won't take any other answer.
Yeah. So can you get double stuff with those though?
You can.
Okay. Then yeah.
Although,
I'm on board.
also, will say regular is better.
Wow.
I want more cookie than cream, I should say.
Oh, okay.
That sounds kind of dirty.
Oh. I thought you meant like the original Oreo, but it's better than the golden. But no, I got
no.
you, man. I was gonna say, why are you eating golden?
I don't know if that's what I should call it, but yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Oreos, man. They've always been just okay,
I do love them.
Eloy and I feel like always have had diverging snack choices. I remember when I wanted like chips or something, I'd get like the Sun Chips or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And he would get like what are those thin
Wheat Thins.
Wheat Thins.
Yeah, those are good too.
Yeah, but they're not Sun Chips, But
Yeah, I used to eat Wheat Thins every day, man, because I used to get those little tuna packets. I'd buy like 5 of those for like $1-ish a piece, and then a box or 2 of Wheat Thins, and just eat that for lunch like every day. Just one packet, and the crackers. I did that for like almost 2 years, man. Just like every day.
Hey, man, I've seen other people do that too, but with like peanut butter and Ritz crackers.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
Just pull out a sleeve of Ritz and just slather on the peanut butter and eat that every lunch meal. But
you
At least
can't
it's
do
not
that with a Sun Chip. It's not the same.
you can't. That's
Sorry.
true.
What do you learn?
It's not the nacho cheese with hot Cheetos that everybody did when I was in junior high.
Oh yeah,
I've never done that, but I know it's like a big thing.
I've seen it. I haven't done that, but
Nor have I.
It looks
I
too
just
trashy.
remember
I'll be
watching
honest.
everyone. So exactly.
Like the nacho cheese that we would get is just totally shitty, and
yeah,
like the hot Cheetos were like a hot commodity around school. It's like, do you got hot Cheetos, man? It's like,
those were big. I remember that.
I guess it's better than cocaine, You got, anyways.
Did you guys in high school there was like this Zacatecas market? I'm sorry if that's offensive. Like a little Mexican market, like fairly close. And I don't want to hear it, Eloy, if it's offensive. Just kidding. But they always had those like mango candies with like the spice, like the cayenne or whatever. People love those, man. People would get those all the time when I was in high school. But
I like spicy things, but the fucking the Mexican candy can go fuck itself. It's disgusting, all of it. Get
I
outta
never
here.
got it. I mean, it is like, I like the dulce de leche, horchata. I like all that. What's the one with the raisins? The cinnamon.
Yeah, Eloy. Sorry if
One
that's
with the
offensive.
raisin.
Oh, like rice pudding.
Oh yeah.
Not bad.
Never had it with raisin.
I don't know. They always had it with raisins for some reason at the market over there. But
I've only been into a Mexican market once, and that was with Eloy and his dad. And all I got there was the guaritos.
yeah.
Those
Oh yeah.
those sodas.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have never been in there and ordered anything.
I used to get those
Yeah,
quite a bit.
Josh, you're right. The raisins are in these a lot, but it's arroz con leche.
Yeah. Arroz con leche.
There you go.
Is that okay?
I don't know, man. There's a big debate as to whether or not you seem really dick or if you're being sensitive to when you speak when you I'm that kid that's true. But anyways,
I know what you're talking about.
what was I saying? I don't remember.
I'm assuming
Great.
you're going down the line of
Spanish.
it's either insensitive or
Oh, when
whatever.
you change dialects, when you're speaking like different languages, when you're ordering from like food, you're like, can I get the burrito? Like, there's two different schools of thought. Either it's sensitive and you're being culturally aware, or you're being a dick.
Yeah.
And I go back
I
and
don't
forth
know.
on it depending on how I feel, depending on
I'm
whether or
far
not I
from
use the accent. Anyways.
I'm far from being the Mexican representative, but I don't know.
Exactly.
I always feel like you should at least try to pronounce it right.
I'll say horchata, like if I'm in the drive-through, but I'll just say, breakfast burrito
Yeah.
and horchata. Like, because I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess that's one of the few ones because I just love it. Like, because I would just order carne asada burrito. Like, just very, like,
Yeah.
that's what it is. But, yeah, sometimes I'll go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Tres con leches. See, but I'm doing the tone. I got to stop doing the tone. That's the issue with it. I think that's where you kind of cross the line. Like,
That is
you
true.
gotta see. Like, if you do the R's and shit, that's one thing.
I don't know, but sometimes it just comes with the territory.
Yeah.
Like if I ever order any Mexican food, I put on the whole show.
There you go. But you get a pass. I don't know, man. I mean, they'd give you the nod, like he gets it. He knows what he's doing.
All right. So the next time you guys go order sushi, I want you guys to say, "Can I get the California roll?" Is that right?
Well, that's a good point because I would not do that. Like
That is a good point. Maybe I do think I get a pass, and that's what I do.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
I just, I feel like it's closer to home, the Hispanic culture, the Latinx community.
I was thinking about this
It's
actually.
closer to us.
That I think I grew up. I didn't grow up in the hood like my sister seems to think that we did.
Yeah.
But I grew up in a minority community, and
Okay.
I think that affords me certain privileges, like saying quesadilla.
Right.
That's a joke, but
Well, no, I mean, look, man, it's one of those things where
I almost feel.
if it's agreed upon, if it's what you grew up around, it'd be weird for you to just take a stand. Like, I'm not saying it like that. But maybe not. Maybe you should. I don't know. It's not up to us, I guess. But
Eloy, do you have any Mexican friends?
Yeah.
Hispanic.
Not close friends,
Oh,
I should say, but
I'm
yeah.
sorry. You're right. Hispanic or Latinx.
Yeah, Latinx.
That's right.
I knew what you meant, and I generalized, and that's probably another issue, but it's fine.
Oh, when I said Mexican?
Yeah,
Oh.
I tacked on Hispanic in general.
That is a thing that actually, of the PC things that I don't do. Like, I don't really have a problem not saying the R word. Sometimes I say it when I'm doing a Boston accent because it makes
or
makes
driving, or I say a lot while driving, and it's for all people, man. Like, I hate downtown white hipsters. They fucking piss me off, man. Like, yuppies, fucking, smelly hippies and fucking
Jacks.
Yeah, man.
You fucking Jack. You're damn liar, Jack.
You're a damn liar, man. It's not true.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm voting Joe Biden. I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
I have to. I don't know what else to do.
I'm just hoping that he picks a good vice president because
Yeah.
I'm banking on him.
And just overall administration. I don't really care about him. I just hope he makes better choices around him, Yeah. But we'll see. Anyway, we don't need to do all that.
No. Anyways, well, we're trying to keep the show a little bit shorter lately, and so we're going to, rather than spewing a bunch of facts to you, we're just going to have a general broad topic.
Yes.
And we're going to branch off from there. And this topic today is...
Damn, I'm down in this whole bottle. Sorry.
Well,
alcoholism.
Yeah. Genetics.
But hookup culture, and that's why you heard the Tinder... The Tinder, I'm trying to pull it back up really fast, but I'm not doing it very quickly. The Twitter, the Tinder, ding. All right, there we go. All right. That little tail, I could get. Oh my God, it's going everywhere. It's happening. It's a lot. Okay. But we're talking about hookup culture.
Yeah.
And I don't know where you want to start it. I mean, Josh, you said Moscato, and I don't know if we want to jump straight into that, but
Yeah, I can, because it actually is kind of the doorway for me, I guess you could say. Because I dated this girl right after high school for a couple of years, and when we broke up, we had the big major breakup. We had we had the big major breakup, and I went into this whole, this was the first time I worked for USPS. Sorry, this bubbly, man. The first time I was working for USPS doing the data entry, as you do.
mm-hmm.
I had a lot of time to download information into my mind, so I really dove into the pickup community online sphere,
Oh yeah.
like motivational speakers is kind of where it began, and then it became this whole thing about you got to go out all the time, and you got to approach people, and you got to be loose and fun, and I don't know. There's a lot to it, honestly, and I think it did, it made me a completely different person, after a few years of really letting that stuff in and kind of challenging myself in ways that never, well, maybe once or twice, but not at the time. Never got me laid. I never picked up a girl or whatever. But that mindset of what do they call it? It's clarity of intent with freedom from outcome. You should know what you want, but don't need it, because neediness is the ultimate polarization. It's going to push people away. So you have to have this abundance, freedom mindset, because you have to want people to jump into your world, not for them to think that you need them to be in their world. It's this whole thing. It's a whole mindset, and taking action and blah, blah, blah. And then we kind of got back together. She moved in where I was living, and she moved into a separate room because we kind of didn't know what it was going to be or what we were doing. And then she didn't really cheat because we weren't together, but we kind of were. And she got with this other guy that she was seeing when we broke up, and we were both kind of whatevers. And then she moved out, and it was this whole love-hate, up-down thing. And then she came over one night, and she brought a bottle of Moscato. Bottle of Barefoot pink Moscato.
I forgot Barefoot was
It's a brand.
brand. So I'm
Yeah,
she's
baby.
just barefoot, or what?
Oh, she
Is
got
that your
barefoot.
thing? I don't know.
Everything was bare, baby.
So she's not one of these socks people,
No.
socks stay on.
No,
people?
no.
Okay.
I was a shirt guy for a while, and I still kind of am here and there. It really depends.
A shirt?
You got to keep the shirt
Oh,
on.
you keep your shirt on. I
Yeah.
thought you were you keep your breasts in. That's what I thought you meant.
I don't want to see it. Keep it high and tight.
Exactly.
No, but Well, you know what? Actually, where it probably started is there was a period in time where I was staying at her parents' house. I don't know. We had this whole thing for like over a year where we were like together but not, blah, blah, blah. And there were times where we would get in these huge arguments. And then like she would just come over and man, we'd sit back, sip on that Moscato, listen to some smooth jazz, some bossa nova. And just hate fuck, man. And that is one of the best ways to have sex, man. Because you do not give a shit about them, and you just tear it up, man. And wow. So that was my first kind of entrance into, I guess, hookup. I mean, not really, because, like, we had all this history and everything. But that was my first entrance into, like, non-attachment when it came to sex. Because other than that, it was always, like, in a relationship and blah, blah, blah. And so that was kind of the entrance for me, you know? And there's nothing like it, man. Well, there is. It's high on my list. I'll say that.
Oh.
Hate fucking.
Would you
nice.
say passionate fucking is better or worse?
Oh, it was passionate.
Okay. That's fair.
But it's a different kind. I mean, yeah, well, the difference is, I guess, and we'll probably get into this when it comes to hookup culture in general, is that you can have passion in like a lot of ways, but when you have that mindset of getting yours, like I'm going to get mine, you know, and like the person is just like there and has nothing to do with them necessarily, it can get kind of hollow and kind of dark after a while. And so it's really fun when you can kind of be heartless, but that can only last so long for me, until it starts to kind of fuck with you, because you do miss having that connection. Like,
yeah.
But I don't know.
Something passionate in that regard. It's not particularly sustainable.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. So, but I don't know. In the past 2 years, I kind of condensed it all in that time, man. Because other than that, I never got with someone that I wasn't with or didn't have history with or whatever. And so I don't know if I necessarily got it out of my system, but I definitely saw it like for what it is, for me at least. And yeah, well, I guess we'll just keep going on it. But
see, well, this is what I was going to ask, is what constitutes a hookup, you know? Because I feel like hookup culture is so vague that it's like,
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. In my perception of what a hookup is I haven't really had those. Because to me, it's like you go to the bar, or in brighter times you go to the bar, and or you meet somebody on Tinder or a dating profile, and it's immediately like, so this is what it's gonna be.
Yep.
And this is the only time it's gonna be, and then it happens.
Yep.
But I mean, if a hookup just constitutes it only happening once, even though there was an understanding that maybe, you know, you guys are still gonna talk or whatever, does that still classify as a hookup? What is hookup culture? I'm gonna.
It's a good point.
Urban Dictionary this bitch. But
yeah, because there's like a booty call, and that kind of means you have some sort of relationship with them, like friendly or whatever. Because that's like the "Hey, you up" text. That is a hookup, but I think we're talking more. Yeah.
The hookup just strictly, without the emotional attachment. You're just hooking up. It's just for hookup culture, the era that began in the early 1990s and has since prevailed on college campuses and elsewhere, when hooking up has replaced traditional dating as the preferred method of heterosexual liaison.
I disagree with that. I think the homosexual community has a lot of hookups, man, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And that's great. I'm not saying it's bad, but I feel like that's kind of one-sided, man, because I've heard some stories.
I've been around some of the messages. My brother is gay, and he was reading some of the messages he would get on like Grindr and shit. It's like,
oh yeah,
Jesus Christ, man! They're just straight up like, damn, you're so hot, I want to fuck you in the ass. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Where can we meet
No
up?
holds barred.
Yeah, man.
Meet up tonight? It's like,
Sometimes I wish I
wow.
had that because it's this mutual understanding. You're both men where you want to fucking put it in something and you're both like, let's get this done, man. Like,
Yeah.
I like that.
I wonder what the percentage of Grindr messages are that, skip the wine and dine part. It's just straight up like, this is my address.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Huh.
I'd like to see that. I don't know.
But I guess if hookup culture is just generally like, I'm only doing it for sex and not for like a relationship, then I guess I've had. I guess I've had several. Just, no, but not like that. But if it's just like strictly women or partners that you've had sex with that are not in a relationship, then I guess that's a lot because I haven't had a real relationship in a long time.
Yeah.
So is that sad? Is that good? I don't know. But then it's also like you were talking about how neediness, you want to give them the perception that you're taking them along with you rather than you begging to go along with them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been attached to people where that became the case where I was like, take me with you. Not like literally like that, but that's the sense I gave off.
Yeah, I get that. Me too.
And so does that classify as a hookup when I'm emotionally invested, but they're not?
I would consider it. So
yeah.
Personally.
So
I think even if it's one-sided on either regard.
Right. That's where it can get messy, though, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess when I think of a hookup overall, it's you, like, barely know the person. Like, it's not, I mean, it is kind of spontaneous, I guess. Like, there's kind of no, like, intention of it being anything more. It could even be, like, I guess I had a hookup, now that I think about it, in high school, but I don't know if I would really consider it that. Like, it was like this girl I grew up with, like, being friends, and then we were, like, sexually flowering. I hate that expression, flowering. But, and then we tried it out one time, and it was a really bad idea, and we were never, like, the same after that. But it was a hookup, I guess, even though we knew each other for years.
do you guys like avoid eye contact when you see each other at school or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. We, like, fully stopped talking after that, because it just was like, whoa, like, that was... I didn't want to know that much about you, I guess, was kind of the feeling.
Yeah.
Like,
There's somebody, like, there's somebody at work that I was just talking to, and I didn't realize that she was engaged or whatever. And once I found that out, I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna
that's some good sex right there.
But she like, it's so weird. Like she listened to the podcast, and so part of me thinks that she listened to the podcast and she's like, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. And she does like she won't look at me whenever I walk by her at work. And I'm just like, I'm not that person that you think I am, I guess. I don't know. I didn't know that you were, but I hate that shit, man, where it's awkward, even though it's like, we were having pleasant conversations before. Like, we can just have pleasant conversations. We don't have to be like, fucking, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it always kind of has this breaking point, I found, because, like I said, I never really had all that. I had another big breakup like 2-ish years ago, and then that was when I was like, I don't want to... Well, I tried, I guess. I had another girlfriend, and it didn't go anywhere, and then I was like, okay, I'm not going to invest in someone. And I had a few, I guess, hookups where it started out as just like talking to someone, just having a pleasant conversation, and then it just like kind of dovetails into this whole thing, and then it just blows up at some point, and it's like, God, like, maybe we should have just been friends that whole time. Like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
But you can try to tell yourself, like, we are friends, but there's this other thing, and sometimes they are married or whatever, and it gets real weird.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
that does get weird when there's the physical interaction.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I was bringing up is it's just funny to me because there was literally none of that. It was just conversations. But yeah, I don't know, man. Eloy,
Yeah, Eloy's
You've been
kind of
quiet.
left out here.
Yeah.
We keep
Do
talking
you have
I was
anything to
intrigued
say
by
about
the
this?
story.
I don't know, man. What do you like? I don't know. I know you've been slinging that cock.
Bringing the pipe.
I know you were slinging that
Josh,
cock. I should say. I need to use the
Josh's
proper.
story actually reminded me of one. I guess it could be a hookup or not, depending on your definition, but it was, I more or less kind of hooked up with this girl for like 2-ish years.
Oh, wow.
Sí,
And we had
potentes,
this whole back and forth of,
See, but that's a fuck buddy. You know, that's, I don't know if that's a hookup anymore. Like,
Yeah, this is
So
this
yeah,
is where
that's
it gets
what-
muddy. You know?
yeah, it does. But anyway,
It-
keep going. Sorry.
I don't know, maybe I just apply hookup as like a blanket term, I suppose. But yeah, it was a lot of, we would get together and then one of us would start talking to somebody else, but then
Right.
one would get upset about it.
Right.
And then if that thing didn't go anywhere, it would just be right back to square one.
Yep.
And that continued on for like 2 years until, yeah, it just blew up and couldn't stand each other anymore.
See,
It
then
wasn't sustainable.
the can't standing them anymore is
Yeah.
what's it's what's fascinating to me to this whole thing. It's like that one breaking point.
It's
And I
true.
just don't understand. Like I'll just leave it. I was gonna say, but I just don't understand it, man. And this is gonna sound like the bad the men idea of it's so bad.
Like ownership or.
Well, no, it's just where I'm going to say like women just don't get it, you know. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the vibe that's probably gonna come off, but
Well,
I don't know,
that's
man.
your-
It's to me. I mean, I guess as I'm about to say this, I'm realizing that I have done this too. But where it's like we both agreed upon this not being anything at the beginning,
Right.
and then it becomes something, and then when I tell you that this is just what it is, and then you get mad, and then everything
Right.
blows up.
Yep.
Like, you know. But I guess I have done that kind of too. So it's not just a woman thing.
Well, I had this whole thing, and it's a little weird. I don't know how much I want to go with that. How far I want to go with that. Let me address it this way, I guess, first. I feel like, you know, I didn't like grow up with you guys, like Logan, Eloy, our friend Ryan, and all that. I feel like your guys' circle has been a little bit incestuous. Like
Oh,
things
very
have-
much so.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah,
hate it.
true.
I despise it.
And then there was like this short period where there was kind of a thing like that with us, like with Logan and I, of this girl that was like a coworker, and I don't know, it was kind of like snowballing, and I didn't really know how to get out of it. And the thing with that experience, I guess, was that, and it's probably true with other people, where if it is what it is, like it's just that thing, both sides kind of set a boundary of like, well, I only do like certain things, like if I'm with someone, like if we're like romantically involved, you know? And so you set that stuff up, and then as time goes on, like you spend time with each other, and you kind of have this, you do have a relationship, but it's not romantic. But those lines kind of start blurring after a little bit, and then you have to kind of like redefine it, and then the person like freaks out, and you're like, what the fuck? I thought you got it. Like, I don't know. And then and the funny thing too is like, the lesson I had to learn is that if you are gonna keep it contained as one thing, you shouldn't go beyond that. And it is funny, like, when you get sick of a person, like, you just realize, like, you're not, like, a fit. Like, you might have, like, certain things, but then other aspects you're like, oh, we're just not, like, compatible in that way. And, like, I don't know, I guess the thing with a hookup, I guess, is that it's a little bit, it should stay savage, you know? Like, you got to just be like, all right, well, you
The
going?
you up, you gotta keep it to the you up texts.
Yeah, and
Kinda.
other than that, be
Yeah.
done. Like, you do the thing and then be like, all right, well, I gotta I gotta go get ready. Like you gotta have that out. And I always had an issue with that because I never knew how to go about it. So like I would try to be like a nice guy, and then that can get really blurry and like confusing, and I don't know. So I feel like you gotta go one way or the other with it. Like if you only wanted to be one thing, then just don't even try to be a good guy, I guess. I don't really know. I'm still really torn on that shit because I want to just be friends with someone, like,
Yeah.
and then it can get all confusing and messy, like.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was trying to bring up with the one that the girl that like we can't even like look at each other, or she won't look at me.
Yeah.
Like it's just like we can just be friends, man.
Yeah.
We don't. You and I don't even have anything more than that, you know. And
Right.
I don't get why that's a thing, man.
Well, like I had this whole thing with this girl that was like separated, like she was married, but they weren't living together, and I don't even know, but she came upon me out of nowhere and was just asking like, "How's life been?" Because we went to high school and we hadn't talked in a really long time.
Okay.
And so we're just like chatting, and she's telling me her whole thing, and I'm just genuinely saying like over and over, like, "Look, man, like I grew up. My parents split up when I was young, and it was because one side cheated and blah, blah, blah. And I really don't think you should do that, like, especially because they have a kid and everything. And I'm like, you guys got to try to work this out. And I was really, like, meaning that. And I was single, so I kind of felt like, well, we can hang out, and, like, no one's going to... It doesn't really matter, Like, it's not, well, where were you? Like, there's none of that. Like, it's just, we can talk. And then you kind of don't realize what that person is going for. Like, sometimes they have this, like, they want you to be, like, the savior or whatever. And I don't know, like, and then they'll, like, push forward on you and then instantly regret it. And in your mind, as the guy especially, you're like, fuck yeah, man, all right, like, cool, like, got laid, like, it's just like a thing in your mind, and you're not really putting much more into it than that.
Yeah.
And I guess that it is a dirtbag move, like, that's why I'm really confused about hookup culture, because I don't know how you can do it in a way that's still, like, caring. Like, I never really learned that, I guess, like, compassionate hookup, or, like, polyamory. I don't know if I could ever do that.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a graph here, like a line of left is, left is like prostitution, sex work.
Yeah, see, and that's a whole other
and
thing.
then
sex
right
work.
is like marriage, and
Yeah.
where along these
Till
that
death.
line
Like, yeah.
is hookup culture. Is it in the center? Is it more towards the relationship? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. There's just a lot of variables. Because I mean, following in with what Josh said, like, it's a dirtbag move, but I know for a fact that I've just played a part in the past just to get the hookup, even
Right.
And that's where it also comes back to whether it's just a hookup on one side or not. Because I've genuinely played with people's feelings just for a hookup, and then dirtbag move.
But you were young, That's what you always got to say, Eloy.
But like old
Was I all that
single
young?
guys.
I don't know.
That's what I always say when I say stuff like that. I was young and stupid, That's fine. I'm totally better now.
But some people are just dogs, man. Like you see an old retiree with a red Corvette, and he's just like hitting on young chicks in the bar or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even think he's a dirtbag necessarily. He's just like a hound dog. Like he's just, trying to get that booty.
The
like.
hound dog eat the hound dog eat the Eloy. What, the hound dog
eat the pussy.
Wow. Reluctance.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm trying.
It's a different mindset.
I have to get it. So just going off of Urban Dictionary, because for me to tell any stories, I have to get this straight. But Urban Dictionary defines it as, just understanding that there's not supposed to be any intimate relation there.
Yeah, no strings attached.
And so, I mean, fuck, I don't even know how to tell this story. You're bringing up how like a lot of our friend group, Eloy and I and Ryan or whatever, was very incestuous.
Yeah.
Not that we were fucking our moms or anything.
Just a lot of passing around the bottle.
Yeah, I feel like that should be clarified now that I think about it. Yeah. But
within your own family, things are like
we were all just
your
we
friend
had
family.
Huge Oedipus complexes in the West Valley kids.
Exactly.
But I don't even know what exactly happened. I at this time I went on a date with somebody and I was into them, and but it was only like with the first date or whatever, and so we were kind of talking. We were kind of like, oh yeah, like you're really cool or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I was living at the time with my friend Corey and Ryan, and I don't know exactly how this woman got here, but I guess Corey asked Ryan to go pick her up, and Ryan did, and then they were just hanging out, and then I came out of my room, and then we were all just hanging out, and I had this really shitty whiskey that I was like, I need to finish, so I was just taking shots of that. And so we were all just hanging out. Corey never came home. And she got drunk, and she was basically saying like how she had been trying to get me to notice her for a long time, and I just never did.
Wow.
And this is what you're talking about with like go along with them rather than bring them along, or whatever. Because that like blew my mind. I was like, oh wow, somebody's been trying to get my attention. What?
Right.
I'm not too stupid to pay attention. But anyways, so that happens. But then that one girl, the other girl that I went on a date with, that I was like, cool. She like called me, and I was talking to her for like an hour, and I really don't know if I should be saying. But after that phone call, I was like, yeah, okay, thanks, I'll see you later. And then me and the girl that was at the house, we just got drunk, we hooked up, and I was like, is that a dick bag move? I don't know.
I mean, there is kind of a weird thing about like dibs, like calling dibs, like how much does that really apply? I don't know. Because even in the hookup, like the pickup community world shit that I was listening to, I would hear little like snarky comments about like, well, I had my sights on her and then someone else. And it's like, oh, I thought you were all about freedom from outcome and abundance and blah, blah, blah. Oh. So there is like this thing that's really hard to get past of like, mining away at something, and then someone else just like jumps in that hole, and you're like, what the? I was working on that shit. Like, I don't know, but at the end of the day, like, it's ultimately the other side's choice. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, it's.
This is actually what I was going to say. You like how Eloy and I's friend group was very incestuous or whatever, and it's just to me, it's like. A lot of the times, like I'm trying to. It's the woman having sex, and she has all the power. She has all the decision making.
Yeah.
In that case.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, I guess not all the decision making, but I'm trying. Like you were talking about the coworker that we had.
Yeah.
And. That's her choice, and I commend her for making that choice.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of like...
It was weird, though.
Would I make... yeah, like, it's weird to make that choice,
But then you have those... That's like the whole, like, layers of the mind thing. Like, there's, like, your logical mind, and then there's, like, the lizard brain, And then there's just, like, opportunity, like, oh, shit, you know.
But now I'm realizing,
and that's shitty. Like,
but now that I'm realizing, her and me would probably constitute a hookup.
Yeah.
And so therefore, that gives probably in her mind the freedom of the clear conscience to be like, all right, well, that was just that quick little thing.
Yeah, I would actually love to see that. I don't give a shit. Like,
it's great.
You should, man.
No, you're misunderstanding, I think, the point. I'm saying that's why, in her mind, she's like, yeah, it's fine. And we say that it's weird, But to her, it probably didn't. Really
her, yeah, it's like, well, it's my decision. Like,
yeah, that's great. but I think that's something I didn't realize until now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man. I mean, it's all that stuff that I listened to definitely gave me that perception. And it's funny because like we had that whole episode on like the Weeknd's new album and shit, and how I was kind of like, man, I miss like the old Weeknd, you know, because it was that like mindset of just like, well, there's another one coming. Like, why does it matter? Like, who has what or whatever? Because it's like plenty of people. It's free love, I guess. I'm not trying to put it as only the man's perception, but it is kind of coming off that way. But it's kind of just like everyone has their choices. Everyone's an adult. Like they can.
Yeah.
It's up to them ultimately, you know.
And I adhere to that. I mean,
I do too.
I don't begrudge anybody for the choices that they make or whatever. I just, when I take a step back and I think about it logically, there's a lot of weird shit going on in the Utah.
Well, it's
dating
true.
Scene.
That's a big part of it is the culture we grew up in.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good point.
It's a lot of weird shit, man. And I feel like if we don't acknowledge that it's weird, we all just kind of turn a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
And we never think about it, and we can all be like, yeah, it's fine. Like, everybody has their choices. But then...
It is hard, though.
But you gotta kind of take a step back and be like, well, it is a little weird.
Yeah.
This fuck net, this fuck spider net web that happens, you know. I think that's when my sex drive died, actually, is when I had a class about, like... They did like a college. They asked college students like who they had sex with, and they tried to like make I don't know what the graph is, but it's like a spider web where like this person slept with these people and this person slept with this person, and so person A is actually connected to person D even though they haven't had sex, but they've had sex with certain people and then that's kind of where I was like, oh shit, like. Well, the one person that I'm like, oh yeah, this is just a hookup. This is a one night stand kind of thing. And then I think back to it and I'm like, wow, they've probably had sex with all these people, and I just, you know, and I think that's kind of where my, because when I was a kid, you know, when I was younger, I was the hound dog, eat the pussy. I was like, this is my drive. This is what I'm gonna do. And now it's kind of like. Yeah. Like, yeah. If it's there, I'm gonna take it. You know, I will seize the opportunity if it's there, but I'm not gonna be like, where's the next delay?
Where's the next one? Yeah. See, and I was that way, and
but like actively seeking.
Oh yeah.
What you're inferring? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like kind of to that point, like I. After I had a big breakup a couple years ago, I was with another girl, and then after we broke up the same night that I hooked up again with that ex. It was like this whole weird thing. Wow. And then she calls me like a couple days after the fact, and she had hooked up with another guy that was like her ex, like it was like this whole weird thing. And then that guy got gonorrhea that he got from her, that she got from me, that I got from the other girl. So it was like, oh fuck. Wow. Like, so you kind of see the domino effect, you know, like and we all had to go get the treatment and all that shit. And so it is I guess it's a little different from what you're saying, but like
that's why they did the test, is because for STDs and stuff. But I don't know, man. I still am probably not as safe as I should be, you know. You know, I use protection and all that shit. But technically, if you really want to be safe, you know, you're not supposed to eat the pussy.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't ever do that
dick.
on a hookup. Yeah.
Don't ever do that.
You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Even if you've been seeing the person for a while, you should just, you know, the condom, stick it in, a little bit of foreplay, mess with the titties.
Oh, yeah.
Mess with the balls a little bit, maybe with your fingers.
Your sex drive's coming back. I like it. Keep going.
Sexual reawakening.
Yeah. Sexual reawakening.
He's going to be actively seeking after
you just hear all those notifications. So.
Yeah, I like to imagine that those Tinder noises were actually you getting matches. I don't know.
I know, huh?
When
Just
I
to be
get matches,
excited.
it's either when I had it, I deleted it a while ago, but it's either like a fake account
Yeah.
or it's.
Well, that
I'm not gonna sound shallow. It's just they're women that it's kind of like I don't recall swiping right on you,
right, right.
and
It's just not your preference.
yeah.
Not a match.
Or when you send them a message, they don't respond, or when they do, it's kind of
Right.
like, well, you're kind of boring. So
Yep.
it's a lot of that shit. And this is what I wanted to actually bring up for this topic was like, what is there a misconception of what hookup culture is? Is it really as prevalent as people say? I always hear these old people being like, well, nowadays back in my day I had to go to the bar and I had to approach a woman and say, "Can I buy you a drink?"
Yeah.
And now they're
Yeah.
just online saying, "Hey, you want to fuck?" Sending dicks pics,
Yeah.
and
Well, I mean, judging by us trying to define hookup culture for the last however long, I feel like there's definitely a lot of gray area in there for it to
Yeah.
be misconstrued.
yeah, I do I think it is kind of like the whole hookup culture kind of thing. Either it's passed over Utah like the the death ghost in Israel, you know, as we celebrate Passover this season, um, or it's just it's a construct of the boomers. Okay, boomer,
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to move to Los Angeles, where all the really attractive people are,
Maybe.
and maybe I will do good there,
Maybe.
Ahaha.
Well, but this is kind of, I wasn't sure if you were going there or not, but I do think it's a big part of the dating apps or the hookup apps or whatever, which I feel like a lot of people don't even know what they're supposed to be for. Because I tried to just genuinely find like a relationship on Tinder and all that, and I realized with time, like, the fuck am I doing? That's not what people want, and if they are, they're not
Yeah.
people I want to talk to. But there is a, but there is
Pussy,
a.
or I don't want to talk to you.
Well, no, I mean, you get picky, which is funny. Like even when you can be kind of, I guess, desperate, you're still picky, which is strange. But
Yeah.
there is this big thing, like you're saying about like fake accounts and all that. There is a lot of like posturing and like virtue signaling and kind of like glorifying where it's only like glamour shots of you like in Barbados on a fucking cruise in a
Yeah.
bikini and like it's all this like whole fake thing, and they can really fuck with your head, man, because like
Yeah.
here you are just like a guy with a job hanging out at home and the people you're
On
trying
your
to talk
couch
to.
on a Saturday night swiping at Tinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel completely like worthless, like your life isn't interesting, and it can send you into such a huge tailspin, like trying to talk to people because you're like, oh my God, like I am nothing, like compared to the people that I wish I could interact with. Like
Yeah.
that can be pretty toxic, man. Like,
Yeah, it causes such a weird insecurity where half the time I just be like, this isn't even worth it.
yeah,
And I just shut my phone off and go lie in bed.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Delete all your social media because you're like, fuck it, I'm so done with all this.
A few tears
Fakery.
wet your pillow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard. It really is.
It is.
It fucks with you bad. Like.
I know, man, and because a lot of the times you'll also see like no hookups or whatever, and
Like
I
no
never.
match or whatever. Or
Well,
do you mean?
what? Like
What do
on
you
their description, it'll be like
Oh,
CEO of this
right.
company,
Yeah.
no hookups,
right.
and it's like, all right, well then if I talk to you and I'm trying to just be like, hey, let's get to know each other, you gotta be open to it,
Exactly.
You just gotta frame it as a business proposal. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta grab their attention, is what it comes to, and it's like,
I actually have like the ultimate, it's whatever generation we are, like dirtbag thing. Like I used to sell e-juice, and there were a few times where I would message people like, "Hey, you want to come model for my vape line? Like, and it started a few conversations, honestly, but it never went anywhere. But kind of the idea with that is like bringing them into your world, you know, like I've already got all my shit going on, like come jump on this train. And I don't know, I guess, but that was an image I couldn't hold up. Like it wasn't actually me. I was just trying to like put coins in the machine and like play the game. And I always kind of knew like if I ever actually like met up with that person, it would be very, very stress inducing because like I wouldn't know how to try to be the cool guy like that just doesn't care. And like I don't know, it's tricky and it's unfortunate. Like you see a lot of profiles on there that are like, you know, don't match with me unless you have a dog and you're 6 feet tall and like blah blah blah. And it's just like, the fuck am I supposed to do? Like I don't know. It's just so frustrating because it's
Exactly.
like there's literally nothing you can do to try to meet that. And
I've never seen that
shallow.
if you don't have a dog.
Oh, I've seen that quite a bit. If you
I
don't
believe
love
it,
dogs.
yes, but I've never seen it.
Kayla's been out of the game for a while, so.
This was all before. I haven't been on there in a little while, but I've done it many times.
I was just thinking that it's like all of us now have, well, you guys have had. I recently now have.
Yeah.
Something that's kind of like, well, I'm not in the market, you know.
Yeah.
We're all not in the
good.
market, but we're all talking like.
Ryan is very much in the market, and his numbers are down, man.
I know.
It's
He's funny, man.
This
is what I was talking about with like how my sex drive has gone down. Like I'm not out here like, where's the next one?
Yeah.
Like it's funny to me to hear him be like, it's been like 2 or 3 months, and it's like, man, I just want to pat him on the shoulder. It could be worse.
Yeah.
I want to let you know, it could be worse. But you know,
like
we all have different needs, and he needs.
Yeah.
He needs his taint licked a little.
Yeah, man, I get
more
it.
often than I do.
Believe me, I know. I'm across the room from him, man. Across the hall.
I can imagine that's exactly what you hear down the hall. Oh, my taint.
That innocent too.
Yeah.
Oh my taint.
Oh, my taint. Surprised he hasn't said that. Pretty much everything but put it in me. We say that quite a bit. But yeah, I had one like actual hookup, like Tinder hookup, and I don't know, it was just like divine timing. Like we were just both on there at the same time. She just got out of a relationship and was just trying to like rebound, like get over it. And we happened to match and blah blah blah, and I was available at the time, like, you know, like within the same like night or whatever, and it just happened, man. And it was cool. It was fun. Like I still didn't know how to go about it though. Like she comes over and she's kind of like a stonery hippie girl. She was younger. She was like 19 and I was like 25, 26. I still am 26, but you know, there was like an age gap there. And that was kind of strange. That was like its own dynamic that I didn't quite know how to go about. And so she comes over and I'm like, at the time I was like smoking weed and I'm like, you want to go smoke? Like, I don't really, do we just go to the bedroom? Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm trying to like set an environment that like kind of felt welcoming, I guess. But I don't know if I even really had to necessarily.
Yeah.
And so like we go outside and she like doesn't even participate in it. And I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm like, okay. And so like we just go into the room and it just went right in and did it. And well, the thing about it that was weird is like there's that classic trope of like cigarettes after sex. Like you're like laying in bed just kind of like taking it in, you know, just like, ah. And there was a little bit of that where it's like we're laying there and she's laying on me and we're watching something on TV. And of course, like naturally, like my mind starts to go like, man, like what if this could become something? And I'm like, God damn it, don't do that. And like, it was hard though, because I'm just used to that. And some part of me has just always wants that, I guess. And maybe she picked up on that. I don't really know. Like I never like said that or anything. But then that was it. We never, like, we talked a little here and there, but it was, like, pretty awkward. And then it just, like, fully died off. And that's all it was supposed to be. And I knew that going in. And so did she. But some part of my mind is still, like, attached, you know. And I was a little bothered by it at first because I was like, fuck, like, what did I do wrong? And then it's like, he didn't do anything wrong. Like, he knew exactly what it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
So,
That
like,
sense of guilt. Yeah.
yeah, because you feel like, man, I don't want them to feel used or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but I think a good amount of people in that situation either are using you or they want to be used temporarily, which is a whole other funky thing that I had to learn quite a bit about. But I don't even want to get into that. But I don't know. Yeah, there's definitely an unattachment that you kind of have to get used to if you want to be in that world. Like, it's two selfish people coming together to self-serve and then walking away. And it's like,
Yeah.
if that's not how your mind is built, it's tricky to navigate. Like,
That's what I was going to say. Is it the post-coital embrace that becomes an issue? You know.
yeah, and it did.
You seem like it seems like a dick move to be like, all right, well that was fun. Let's pack up your pants and your shirt and your bag and let's get out of here.
Exactly.
But that seems like a rude thing to do, but maybe it's a good thing.
But they've kind of, yeah. I mean, sorry, Eli. I do think that is the preferred thing if you're going to be in that world. But what were you going to say, Eloy?
Oh, I was just gonna say that it's like the classic leave right after or like stay the night and leave in the morning thing, and I feel like that
Yeah.
just staying the night in and of itself really kind of flips the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and I wanted that. I thought, like, oh man, that would be nice. That'd be kind of cute.
Yeah.
Nothing about it is supposed to be cute. So, like, you got to get that out of your head.
Supposed
Like,
to be down and dirty and nasty. And...
yeah, and they're just done. Like, yeah. I don't know, man.
Well, this has been episode 62
There you
of
go.
Vice of Life. I don't
down
know.
and
Do you guys
dirty.
have anything else? We're trying to keep them a little bit more palatable and bite-sized. This is an hour and 15 minutes, so
Not bad.
Solid.
still with Eloy, with that just riveting, you know.
Pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
I don't know. I think if I found myself being single again, which I don't really want to be, I think ultimately I am a relationship person. I think it's good for me to kind of have that checked off my list so I can focus on other things. Because it does become my main focus when I'm single, and it's really distracting, and like, it shouldn't be. That's the whole idea with like bringing them into your world, is like they shouldn't be the solution for anything, you know? And it's good for them to feel that way because it's actually a reflection on you not having your life together. Like, and so like when you get that rejection, it's like a sign that something about your life isn't as good as it could be. Like, and even though it really hurts to feel that, it's ultimately like good to process that and take it in. I think if I did end up being single again after a period of like vast depression and angst, I would just go back to being a dog, man. Like, because it is nice, but it is very, very selfish. And I guess at the end of the day, that's okay as long as both sides feel that way, you know. But I think ultimately I like having that trust and that established connection and everything.
Yeah.
I've
I
realized
respect
that.
that. Some people are just built differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like, even though there can be a mutual understanding that this is all it's going to be, or whatnot, like it still gets complicated.
Yeah.
Even though you can be an adult and say this is what this is, but it still gets complicated, and I don't know. Maybe you have to put yourself in an unawkward situation to avoid the complications that come with prolonged involvement with somebody.
Well, and I've also found that you can be in a long-term relationship and one side of the party isn't satisfied by that and does want, the taster platter or whatever, like they want more. And I think whatever your reaction is in different situations is like kind of a sign of what your internal like wiring is, because some people aren't satisfied in a connected long-term thing, and you can't lie to yourself about that, and that can really hurt when you don't agree with it, but ultimately you have to decide, like, well, we just want different things, like, that's okay, you know, and you can't lie to yourself about it, and neither should they, even though you think that they should be a certain way because that's how you feel. Like, no matter what kind of pairing you're in, like, it should be mutual, I guess. Like, that's how I look at it now.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Well, do we have a mutual understanding that that hookup culture is confusing?
Is undefinable.
And,
Eye of the beholder, you know.
yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I know we discussed having a little ending segment. I don't know if you have that prepared.
Oh, I don't. I've been a little distracted.
That's okay.
To be honest. I could tell you a few things, but I don't know how much joy you would get out of it.
Well, we'll keep that held, I guess, when you have more of a presentable thing. I have a quick little thing here. Very important that you must know before we go. On this day that this is releasing, it's Mark Zuckerberg's birthday. Mark Zuckerberg's birthday.
Okay.
And so let's all wish, Mr. Facebook himself a happy birthday. If he's human, we don't know.
Yeah, happy.
He drinks water weird. But, all right. This has been episode 62. I think. Vice of Life. And so we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, guys. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Vice of Life Pod. You can listen to us on our new YouTube channel at Vice of Life. Send us an email if you want at viceoflifepodcast@gmail.com. Review and subscribe wherever you listen. And if you really love us, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/viceoflife.
Oh, shit. I gotta stop it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's not opening.